Don't eat at McDonald's in the UK again until you understand what's really happening behind the counter. Because the McDonald's you remember from your childhood is not the McDonald's operating today. The smell might be the same, the packaging might still be cheerful, and the golden arches might still glow like a beacon of comfort on a cold night. But something underneath has changed. Most people don't think of McDonald's as a restaurant. It's more like a life utility. Something you rely on without questioning. It's the place you stop at when you're exhausted, hungover, late for work, emotionally unstable, or simply craving something salty that doesn't require cutlery or responsibility. But beneath that dependability is a hidden world of shortcuts, supply pressure, kitchen chaos, and menu secrets that very few customers ever get to see. It's not that McDonald's has become bad, it's that the system behind it has shifted in ways the average UK customer has never been told. What you're about to hear isn't rumor. It isn't sensationalism. It's the story of how one of the most iconic brands in the world slowly became something else. Something faster, more pressured, more automated, and more unstable than ever before. If you grew up with McDonald's, this might feel uncomfortable, but by the end of this video, you'll understand why millions of British customers say the phrase, "It just doesn't taste the same anymore," with a kind of quiet heartbreak. The illusion behind the golden arches. McDonald's has always sold an idea, consistency. No matter where you go in the world, your Big Mac should taste the same, the fries should taste the same, the nuggets should taste the same. That promise was the brand's entire identity, reliability in a box. But here's the part McDonald's never advertises. That consistency isn't created by talented chefs. It's created by a system so intricate, so high pressure, and so dependent on machinery, timing, and staffing levels that when one part falters, even slightly, the whole operation begins to wobble. And in the UK, that wobble has become more noticeable. The first crack in the illusion shows up in the kitchens, or the line, as staff call it. UK McDonald's kitchens aren't built for cooking, they're built for assembly. Almost everything arrives pre-portioned, pre-shaped, pre-seasoned, pre-par-cooked, or pre-something. The kitchen is more like a conveyor belt than a restaurant. Burgers are pressed by timers, not instinct. Fries are cooked in exact cycles. Buns are steamed with a machine that sounds like it's clinically depressed. Sauces are dispensed from metal pumps with the precision of a factory. The goal isn't flavor, it's speed, which is fine until the system gets overwhelmed. And make no mistake, it's overwhelmed more than you think. Staff shortages have hit UK McDonald's harder than almost any other fast food chain. The brand relies heavily on young workers, students, part-timers, people on zero-hour contracts. And over the past few years, those staffing levels have gone from tight to barely holding on. When a store is understaffed, the quality collapses instantly. Fries stay in the holding area too long. Burgers get assembled too fast. Hash browns sit under heat lamps until they emotionally give up. Items that require attention, like the McChicken sandwich or the vegetable deluxe, get rushed, sloppily wrapped, or forgotten until someone yells for them. Then add delivery apps, Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Just Eat. These apps transform McDonald's into something it was never designed to be. A mass delivery factory. Kitchens built for walk-ins now have to juggle dine-in orders, drive-through orders, app orders, and courier orders all at once. It's like trying to run a cafe while also performing surgery during a tornado. The line cooks don't slow down. They don't breathe. And the food reflects that. Fries sit longer to cover unpredictable waves of courier tickets. Burgers cool faster because they're waiting for multiple orders to be completed together. Drinks get watered down in transit. McFlurries, on the rare occasion the machine works, melt before they even reach the courier's bag. But the most revealing cracks appear not in the system, but in the menu itself. The items they don't want you asking about. McDonald's will never admit this publicly, but not all menu items are created equal. Some items are protected, prioritized, cared for, and others are tolerated. These weak links are often the first casualties of a stressed kitchen, and staff know exactly how fast they deteriorate under pressure. Take the McFlurry, for example, a legendary dessert with one fatal flaw. The machine that makes it was apparently designed by an engineer who hates happiness. The broken McFlurry machine jokes aren't exaggerated. They're the product of a system that requires multiple sanitization cycles, long cooldown periods, fragile components, and extremely temperamental temperature controls. Staff dread cleaning it. They dread maintaining it. They dread explaining, again, that it's broken. And customers walk away thinking McDonald's is lazy. In reality, the machine is simply the diva of the dessert world. Then there are the fries, the pride of McDonald's, the one item nearly every customer agrees on. But in the UK, they're shockingly inconsistent. Why? Because fries have a lifespan of roughly 5 minutes. After that, they begin their tragic descent into limp, lukewarm sadness. When the kitchen is overwhelmed, fries pile up faster than staff can distribute them. The result? Portions that taste like they've been emotionally defeated. And breakfast. Breakfast at McDonald's UK is where the system's limitations really show. The sausage and egg McMuffin can be heavenly at 7 a.m. Hot, fresh, balanced. But by 10:20, when staff are exhausted and rushing to switch menus, the quality nosedives. Muffins become dry, cheese remains unmelted, eggs become rubbery discs that bounce if dropped. Still, these issues are small compared to what's coming, because the real story isn't just about items. It's about a shift in McDonald's culture that has fundamentally changed the taste of the entire brand. And once you understand that shift, the whole menu starts to look different. The McDonald's you remember versus the one you get today. For many people in the UK, McDonald's isn't just a place to get food. It's a place tied to childhood memories. Birthday parties in the early 2000s with paper crowns and balloons. Road trips where spotting the golden arches felt like a victory. That very specific moment of walking into a warm McDonald's on a freezing December night, peeling off your gloves and ordering a meal that tasted exactly the same every single time. But something has changed. Somewhere between the nostalgia and the modern reality, the McDonald's experience became unstable. The meals feel different, the service feels different, the food arrives different, and the decline didn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happened slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. To understand why, we have to go back to how McDonald's used to operate. In its prime, McDonald's was obsessed with consistency. Every process was designed to remove uncertainty. The fries were timed to the second. The patties were steamed or grilled exactly the same way in every branch, and kitchens were staffed with enough people that quality didn't collapse during a rush. But the biggest difference wasn't the food, it was the workforce. McDonald's used to be staffed primarily by long-term employees, full-time workers who knew the system inside out. People stayed for years, sometimes decades. They took pride in their branch. They trained new staff with precision. They enforced standards tightly. They were the backbone of the experience. Today, that backbone is gone. The UK's restaurant industry has changed dramatically. Staff turnover is higher than ever. 0-hour contracts are common. Young workers are exhausted, underpaid, and juggling multiple responsibilities. Training is rushed, not because managers don't care, but because they don't have time. A system that was designed to run with 10 people now runs with 6, sometimes 5, sometimes fewer. This is why your burger tastes different, fries feel limp, service feels frantic, and why items come out colder, squashed, weaker. McDonald's the brand hasn't changed, McDonald's the experience has. Because the people behind the counter are fighting a battle customers can't see. The cost of speed. Speed is the soul of McDonald's. It's the promise, the expectation, the whole reason the chain became globally dominant. But speed requires infrastructure, staff, timing, maintenance, supply precision. And when any of those pillars weaken, the speed collapses first, and then everything else follows. In a perfectly staffed, perfectly maintained McDonald's kitchen, the system is a beautiful symphony. Every item follows a route. Fries drop, patties cook, buns steam, sauce pumps click, screens alert staff at exactly the right moment. It's efficiency theatre. But when the kitchen is understaffed, which is common now, the system turns against itself. Imagine a lunch rush. 40 orders come in within minutes. Delivery tickets stack up. Someone on the headset is trying to take drive-through orders while assembling 2 McFlurries and checking the hash brown holding cabinet. A manager is trying to organize stock while also putting out fires. Metaphorically, hopefully not literally. The fry station is pinging like a medical monitor. The grills are buzzing. The ice machine is crying out for mercy. And in the middle of this, a new staff member is trying to remember whether the McChicken Deluxe sauce goes on the top bun or the bottom. Quality loses the battle instantly. This is why UK McDonald's meals often feel rushed, sloppy, inconsistent. It's why your McDouble looks like it slid down a hill. It's why the lettuce clumps on one side. It's why cheese melts unevenly or not at all. It's why a burger that's supposed to be juicy arrives suspiciously dry. Speed without support isn't speed, it's managed chaos. And customers feel that chaos in every bite. The fall of the fries. Let's talk about fries. Arguably the most sacred McDonald's item. British people are fiercely loyal to McDonald's fries. They defend them like a national treasure. But anyone who has eaten McDonald's regularly over the last few years will tell you something has changed. Fries have become unpredictable. Some days crisp and perfect. Other days limp, pale, sad, flavorless or cold. Why? Because McDonald's fries have a painfully short lifespan, around 5 minutes of peak quality. After that, they enter an irreversible decline. They cool fast. They soften fast. And in an overwhelmed kitchen, fries sit longer than they ever should. The cause? Delivery apps. Before apps, each branch made fries in direct response to walk-in traffic. Staff could eyeball demand, but delivery orders arrive in unpredictable waves. One moment the screen is empty. The next moment, 30 orders. Staff panic. They bulk cook fries. Then, when the rush is over, the fries sit and sit and sit. Customers don't see the timing. They only taste the result. Fries that feel emotionally let down by life. And it's not just the fries. Breakfast items collapse under pressure too. Hash browns become oil-logged. The McMuffin muffins dry out. Eggs overcook. Patties sit too long. The quality drops sharply just before the 11 a.m. cutoff. The time when the kitchen is desperately trying to survive the final breakfast rush while preparing to flip to the lunch menu. Breakfast at McDonald's is a high-stakes ballet, and most days the dancers are exhausted. The menu McDonald's doesn't talk about. McDonald's in the UK has items that look great on posters but behave very differently in real kitchens. Some items simply don't survive the system's pace. The McChicken sandwich is notorious. When fresh, it's lovely, crispy, comforting, predictable. But if it sits too long in the holding cabinet, the coating softens, the lettuce wilts, the bun squashes. Staff know this. Sometimes they wince when they hand it over. The Filet-O-Fish is another legend, and one of the most divisive items in fast food. But here's what customers don't know. It is one of the easiest items to mishandle. The steamed bun dries quickly. The square fish patty cools faster than beef. And that slice of cheese? It's purposely cut in half. If the sandwich sits more than a couple minutes, the cheese barely melts, leaving customers convinced the item was assembled by someone who's never met a toaster. Then there's the chicken selects, a UK favourite with a fatal flaw. The breading absorbs condensation inside the holding drawer. If the store is even slightly understaffed, selects go from crispy to chewy in minutes. Staff know this. Customers taste this. And the misunderstanding between the two groups is one of the great modern tragedies of British dining. But none of these menu quirks compare to the single biggest shift in McDonald's UK. The emotional connection customers once had to the brand has fractured. And the reason is deeper than slow fries or tired patties. The hidden decline. There is a moment, a quiet, subtle moment, when customers begin to realize the McDonald's they grew up with is not the one serving them today. Maybe it's the first time your Big Mac tasted off. Maybe it was the drive-through order missing half the items. Maybe it was the soggy fries you stared at in disappointment on the bus home. Maybe it was the barely warm burger that felt like it had already given up. The cracks don't appear suddenly. They appear slowly, one meal at a time. And customers begin to ask, what happened? The answer sits somewhere between staffing shortages, delivery chaos, rushed training, and a system buckling under pressure. But there's another layer to it, something more personal, more emotional. McDonald's was once a treat, now it's a last resort. There's no time for pride in the kitchen, no room for craftsmanship, no space for the details that made the food feel special in the past. The workers aren't lazy, they're exhausted. The kitchens aren't broken, they're overloaded. And as the pressure rises, the experience falls. McDonald's has become a symbol of modern speed. Fast, efficient everywhere. But beneath the shine, the system is fraying in quiet ways. The brand hopes customers won't notice, but customers do notice. They always notice. The breakdown after midnight. If you really want to see the true state of any McDonald's in the UK, don't go at lunchtime. Don't go at 6 in the evening. Go after midnight. Go when the streets are quiet, when the bars empty out, when the only people awake are taxi drivers, night shift workers, students finishing a deadline, and one very stressed McDonald's team trying to keep the store alive. Late night McDonald's is a completely different ecosystem. This is the moment when cracks become canyons, when the system stops pretending to be polished and just tries to survive. Staff levels drop, deliveries spike, drunk customers appear like clockwork, machines break, ice creams melt, nuggets run out, fillets disappear. Burgers get assembled with the emotional energy of someone who's been awake for 17 hours. There's a reason late night orders are notorious. The fryers have been running all day. The oil is tired. The staff are tired. The screens are flickering with orders that come in waves. 10 minutes of silence, followed by 30 orders at once. Customers at the counter are impatient. Couriers stand in a line that looks like a silent protest. The drive-through headset beeps like an alarm that never ends. And in the middle of all this, the food becomes unpredictable. A burger that would have been perfect at 5 p.m. might be rushed at 1 a.m. Fries that come out crisp and golden in the afternoon might arrive pale and uninspired after midnight. Nuggets that normally fry in perfect cycles might be rushed to catch up with app orders. And then there's the breakfast switchover, that cursed 4 to 5 a.m. window when the kitchen is trying to prepare breakfast while still serving the stragglers who want a Big Mac at dawn. This isn't the fault of staff. This isn't the fault of customers. It's the fault of a system forced to operate 24/7 without the support it needs. Late night McDonald's is the purest glimpse into the pressure behind the golden arches and why the quality so often collapses under it. But the story doesn't end with the food. The real impact is deeper, more emotional, more personal. The emotional cost of a disappointing McDonald's. For most people in the UK, McDonald's isn't a luxury. It isn't a treat you plan for weeks. It isn't somewhere you dress up to visit. It's comfort. It's convenience. It's the place you go when you need something fast, familiar, warm, and safe. And that's exactly why the decline hurts more than you'd expect. There's a particular kind of disappointment unique to McDonald's. The moment when you open the bag, expecting that childhood smell, that perfect bite, that dopamine hit that only a hot fry or a fresh McNugget can deliver. And instead, you're met with soggy chips, a lukewarm burger, or a wrapped item that feels suspiciously lightweight. You don't feel angry. You feel let down because McDonald's is tied to emotion, to memories, to moments in life that mattered. The first time you got food on your own, the place you went with friends after school, the midnight road trips, the comfort after a long day, the meals that got you through heartbreaks, exams, long shifts, or lazy Sundays. And when that experience is compromised, when something feels off, rushed, or wrong, the disappointment hits in a way we rarely admit out loud. It's not just a meal that's changed, it's a feeling that's changed. That loss of magic is what people are grieving when they say, McDonald's just isn't the same anymore. And the question becomes, why? What changed so dramatically that a global giant can't keep its most iconic promise? Consistency. To answer that, we need to look deeper into the system, beyond the fries, beyond the patties, beyond the packaging, into the part of McDonald's the public almost never sees. When a global system starts to crack, every McDonald's in the UK operates under the same global blueprint. A blueprint designed to produce insane consistency. But that blueprint was engineered years ago, long before the pressures of modern delivery culture, staffing shortages, economic strain, and the collapse of long-term hospitality careers. Restaurants used to be powered by experience. Now they're powered by survival. The crack started showing when the company shifted its focus, globally, towards digital automation. Self-service screens replaced cashiers. Delivery apps replaced dine-in culture. Speed replaced quality. Efficiency replaced pride. The system became more robotic, while the humans running it became more overwhelmed. This shift has consequences the brand never talks about. When a kitchen is run by staff who barely have time to breathe, mistakes become normal. When machines do most of the work, creativity disappears. When managers focus more on meeting targets than mentoring staff, morale collapses. When the pace increases without increasing the team, burnout becomes the default setting. And when a system relies on precise coordination but is operated by exhausted people under constant pressure, consistency becomes impossible. This is why your fries vary wildly from branch to branch. This is why the McFlurry machine is always broken. This is why the breakfast items feel rushed. This is why your order is missing something every third visit. This is why the food sometimes tastes strangely bland or oddly salty. This is why your McChicken looks like it was assembled in the dark. Not because McDonald's ingredients suddenly got worse, but because the system has outgrown the staff who run it. And those cracks become earthquakes when combined with one more factor: the customer's expectation. The tension between what we expect and what we get. McDonald's customers don't want gourmet food. They don't want Michelin-level cooking. They want the same McChicken they had years ago, the same fries, the same McMuffin, the same taste that's been branded into their childhood memories. But nostalgia is powerful and dangerous. We're not comparing McDonald's to other restaurants. We're comparing McDonald's to McDonald's, to how it tasted 15 years ago, to how it felt 7 years ago, to how it looked 3 years ago, to how it should feel every single time. And the more the system struggles, the more the distance grows between what we expect and what we get. This is why people say things like, "McDonald's was better when I was younger. Why are the burgers so flat now? The fries never taste the same." Something's missing. What's missing is stability, care, attention, time, the human element. Not because staff don't care, but because they simply cannot do more within the limits of the modern system. And this is where our journey brings us to a truth McDonald's will never put in an advertisement. The food hasn't changed nearly as much as the experience has. And that shift is at the heart of everything your taste buds have been trying to tell you. Why this matters? You're not wrong for noticing the decline. You're not imagining it. You're not being dramatic. Something fundamental has changed in the way McDonald's operates in the UK. Not because the company is failing, but because the pressure on the company has reached a level the original system was never designed for. McDonald's can still be good, great even, but the consistency, the very thing that built the empire, has become fragile. And once you understand what's happening behind the counter, you'll realize the brand isn't just selling fast food anymore. It's selling the illusion of certainty in a world moving too fast for certainty to survive. McDonald's didn't decline because of one big mistake. It declined because everything changed at once. The staff, the culture, the expectations, the speed, the economy, the technology, the workflow, all of it. And whether you keep eating there or walk away completely, you'll never look at those golden arches the same again. If this opened your eyes to what's really happening behind the counter at McDonald's UK, then stick around, because we're just getting started. This channel dives deep into the hidden truth behind the UK's biggest restaurants, chains, and takeaways. The things customers never see, but definitely should. Hit subscribe, stay curious, and join us for the next episode.